All Progressive Congress North Central Forum has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to ensure that the party's national chairmanship is returned to the North Central region following the resignation of Abdullahi Ganduje. Chairman of the forum and member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Saleh Zazaga, made the appeal in a statement issued on Saturday. He stressed that the North Central should be allowed to complete the tenure of former national chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, who also hails from the region. Zazaga recalled that the forum had earlier taken legal action to assert this position, but paused the campaign when Ganduje's appointment was ratified by the party's National Executive Committee in the interest of maintaining party unity. According to him, the demand is not sentimental but rooted in fairness and justice, as well as the need to uphold internal equity within the APC. He added that the North Central is rich in competent and experienced leaders who can effectively lead the party. The North Central has always contributed significantly to the party's success and deserves fair representation in its leadership. Returning the chairmanship to the region will not only correct a long-standing imbalance, but also strengthen the party cohesion and electoral success, Zazaga said. He urged the party leadership to act decisively and justly, stating that the move would consolidate the gains of the APC and reinforce public confidence in its internal democratic processes. Fine Face, what do you make of this story?
Well, I think gradually the leadership crisis plaguing the PDP is gradually flowing
into the APC.
Within a few days, or let me say a few hours,
of massive defection.
Massive defection. We heard about the resignation of Ganduje. We then heard about the Asume SAG's alleged, resignation and all of that. So,
and also, do not forget the Shetima scandal that happened.
Exactly, all of those issues are there, but then they are more intact than the PDP, I must say. And this call they are making now, they are not out of place to make calls like this for the position to be returned to the North Central. I think, but what we determine whether that call will be heeded is whether or not, like we are hearing from the grapevine as well, that the vice presidential candidate of Tinubu is going to be picked from that region. If that is going to be the case, then there is a tendency that the selection of the next party chairman may not come from there, because you cannot have the party chairman from the North Central. You also have, Kwankwaso that is being alleged as the possible Tinubu's running mate in 2027, also coming from there. So these are the things that will determine whether or not the party is going to obey this call for the retention of the party's national leadership in the North Central. But we believe, from what we have been told, that to pave way for the replacement of Shetima in 2027 for the party for Tinubu as vice presidential candidate, that the position of the party chairman must leave the North Central, and that is the process that has started, forcing Ganduje to resign. So they are not going to look into this and then look at where to move the party chairmanship to if the vice presidential ticket of Tinubu is going there, like we are hearing that is likely going to happen.
Very interesting position there. But I am interested in a little bit in the Ganduje twist in this matter. Now, between Ganduje and Kwakwanso in Kano State, who would you say has more influence?
I think Kwakwanso has more influence.
Okay.
I think he's also a former governor. He has held several other positions. He's also running the NNPP.
NNPP right now.
I think so.
His faction, there is crisis where his faction was expelled with the Kwakwansia movement.
He was there, and he was part of the presidential election in 2023. And we are also aware of the protests that erupted, jubilation, a kind of protest jubilation that erupted following the resignation of Ganduje.
Okay.
All of this put together, I think Kwankwaso has more influence to an extent from my own assessments.
Right.
But that is not the key issue here. But the key issue here is that Kwankwaso is being, tipped from what we are hearing, that he's likely going to be the one to be selected as the vice presidential candidate in 2027. So if that comes on, whether or not Kwankwaso is strong or Ganduje is strong is not the issue here. But what has been done is to play the politics of balance of power by way of saying that Ganduje, you are from there, you have to resign to pave way if we are to pick from there, and that has happened. So what now needs to happen is that, apart from, I think we learned they have an interim chairman now. Thereafter, for a substantive chairman to be appointed, they will have to sit down and look at how to balance the power across the country. Then that will happen. Because what they are calling for now is a balance of power, whereby the position should return there because
in order to finish the tenure.
It's just
of
like
the
what we are
former
talking
national
about now,
chairman.
like relating it to Rivers State, meaning that if what they are saying happens to be true, that they will not allow Fubara to fly the flag in 2027, the party ticket will still return to the Rivers Southeast Military District because that tenure has to be completed.
Right. All right. We are not going to go back.
The affirmity of your words, this one, the affirmity is so high.
We're not going to go back to Rivers State crisis. Now we are in APC. What do you make of this development in APC, with the APC North Central agitating for the chairmanship position to be returned back to their region?
You see, if you look at the North Central, we have Benue, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger State, Plateau, and the FCT included. So if you look at it, the agitation is not quite, you cannot write off the agitation. But if you look at what Dr. Fenfe said, it's balancing of power. Okay. You know, there have been this rumor going around that Shetima will not run again with the president in 2027, which I can't affirm here because I am not in that tier of leadership yet. But I want to assure you that APC as a party knows that if they go into crisis right now, the resolution of that crisis might not be possible before 2027 election. So if you look at the permutation, what they are doing is a way of trying to make sure that there is fairness in the party, and there is a balancing of power across all tiers. Because if you look, the six geopolitical zone in Nigeria, we try as much as possible to share power even in the party processes and the rest of them. That's also included in most of the states, including Rivers State. As you have heard, Dr. Francis has said it with strong affirmity that the party, this thing, if the executive governor of Rivers State is not going to run, will return back to the Rivers Southeast, which I am not objecting because it might go there and still favor whoever I might also find interesting. But in a way, APC is a party that understands what it takes to resolve crisis. And we have a leader who understands politics very well. You can't take it away from Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I know what he's trying to do is to make sure that we don't have a warrior fashion before 2027 and we don't have a loophole we'll be struggling to fill up.
Do not forget, if you're saying that, how is the president going to achieve that and placate the Northeast where Shetima comes from? Recall what transpired, you know, in the Shetima snub, when he was snubbed, and you know, even Ganduje had to be protected and he was literally led out of that venue. Right? Do not forget, how is the president going to, because already Northeast is beginning to agitate already. They are sensing this move and they are beginning to agitate, and they have said clearly that they are going to pull their support from the president and they are going to back Atiku if the president does not return their son as his running mate in 2027.
Loresha, you should understand the fact that the possibility of Ganduje resignation might also be that snub. We can't rule it out. We can't rule it out.
No, Ganduje's resignation is not because of the snub.
No, you can't.
Ganduje and Kwakwanso have been long-standing enemies. For some reason, their political differences, for some reason, they have refused to see eye to eye. Not forgetting that one was the running mate, one was the deputy governor to the other. I think that should be between.
Ganduje was.
Yes, that should be between 2011 and 2015, thereabouts. So it is not directly linked to Shetima. It's directly linked to Kwakwanso, if you want to look at it from that place.
Loresha, see, in politics, you can't rule out possibilities. You can't. He's a doctor in political science. He understands what I'm saying. You can't rule out possibilities. And why I say you can't rule out possibilities, there might be a crack which we are not told. If you watch according to his resignation, he said due to health issue. That was the reason given there.
The question would be, why did that resignation
So
come
prompt.
why did it come on the heels of an alleged meeting between President Bola Tinubu and Kwankwaso?
Exactly. So
Because Shetima has been snubbed already prior to this time. Why did that resignation come on the heels of that
excuse
meeting?
me, were you privy to the video that took place in Akwa Ibom when Shetima didn't shoot the hand of Ganduje? Did you watch it? See, I think already relationship has been soured before now.
Right.
And I think the president might look at it holistically and said, oh, this man might not give me what I want. You understand? So in trying to balance power, don't also rule out that the next APC chairman might still come from the North Central. Don't also rule it out.
political permutation, yeah.
Don't also rule it out. It's just like the game of draft. While you are on the seat, you might be confused. But while off the seat, you might even know more than the best draft player. Not because you are the best, but because right there, you will be able to see the moves that the other opponent is making that is not in tandem with what they are playing at that moment. So Ahmed Bola Tinubu, in a way, might be advised by some persons of the government and said, this thing is creating a loophole for us already. Block it before it turns out to be a wider hole like where. And that is what the president is doing. Now, ask yourself a question. Why the sudden resignation? So Ganduje not saying the 16th. These are questions you need to ask yourself. You should understand that, as Doc said, there is political permutation, and what they are doing is just the interest of 2027. You can't be in water while the soap enters your eye. That automatically means that you don't know how to use the water.
Right.
But the president knows how to use what he has to play the politics.
Okay, very well. Now, Fine Face, I will come to you on this. How do you see the president balancing the North-East agitation? How do you see him balancing the North-East agitation if he pulls the plug on Shetima?
Yeah, the way to balance it, I believe, is not too far, and the process has started.
All right.
All these crises leading to resignation, Shetima, Ganduje,
Kwankwaso
started at the meeting where Ganduje was there. He endorsed Tinubu, they didn't endorse Shetima.
That was in Gombe State.
Gombe State, they didn't endorse Shetima. And after they came forward to argue that he doesn't need to endorse Shetima because Mr. President will choose who will run with him. That is to tell you that already they know in-house that in 2027, Mr. President is not going to run with Shetima. They are all aware of that, and they allow him to make his appointment. There is also the issue underground that Sheyi Tinubu has taken over the role of the vice president in the presidency. And the reason why you still see a lot of peace at the center is because Shetima is not talking about it. He's going about the veto he's giving to do. Already we know that the office of the vice president is spare tire of Mr. President. What you are giving to do is what to do when you are not giving what you are not doing. Now, how I see Mr. President being able to balance this power shift, if it shifts from the Northeast, is that maybe as the former governor of, I think, is it Taraba? No, not Taraba. Benue State, has left now as Secretary to Government of the Federation. Actually, that is if he allegedly left.
The president.
Yeah, there could be appointments. Yeah, there could be appointment from the Northeast to put that in place. But I know that the key positions within the country are the president, vice president, speaker, and SAG, and of course the Senate president. And the Senate president is held strong by the South, and that one is not going to shake. And then
unshakable.
It's unshakable. It's sealed. Till even 2027, depending on how political permutation is going to end by the end of 2026. But the point here is that other key appointments can come from the Northeast, balancing if the position of the vice president is taken to North Central.
Right.
But I think that the processes are already started, permutations are on, and Tinubu will achieve whatever he wants to achieve because he knows how to play the game, he understands the game, and he has the resources to back it up.